Please join me in the next round of pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Cameron, good. Invitation, please.
Morning, everybody. Would you bow your heads in prayer with me? Gracious Heavenly Father, we just come before you today with hearts full of thanksgiving. Thank you, first of all, for the sun never setting on your love for us. Thank you for bringing us here safely today for fellowship with our fellow Rotarians. And thank you for for the club that has the goal of service above self. Your son tells us in Matthew 25, "For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. And I was a prisoner, and you came and visited me. Truly, I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." Thank you for this club that joyfully cares for the least of these. Thank you for the terrific program we're about to hear. And thank you so much for the delicious food and for those that prepared it. We pray these things in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Terry.
Morning, y'all. Perfect Chamber of Commerce, Weathergate. Hey, hope you have a great bunch of birthdays to celebrate. Kayla York on May the 19th. We got a triple play on May 24th with Arthur Gardner, Art Mars, and Ben Slinger. And double play on the 25th. That's Bob Caputo and Dale Goodwin, Dr. Dale Goodwin. Anniversaries, George Flowers and Laurel on May 26th, and Stephanie Walker and Sean on May 29th. Hope you all have a fantastic week. Thank you.
This morning. Introduction of guests. No? All right, can y'all hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. Good afternoon, everybody. We're happy to welcome our guests to the Rotarians today. When I call your name, would you please stand and remain standing until all visitors are recognized? We have Mr. Tony Wesley, guest of Chuck Jackson. All right, and then Patrick Munoz, guest of the club. And then Kenneth and Angela Munoz, also guests. All right, are there any other guests or visiting Rotarians? All right, well, thank y'all for visiting. John, Mr. Chick-fil-A.
Mine is up to $444. I got ticket number 141318. 141318.
Not even should try. There we go.
Back at 20. Let's see if you paid it out.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. If I could have Cal Whalen. Don't worry, I'm doing the presentation. You come up and Patrick Munya. Oh, Dennis was pulling my chain. I was gonna say Lucas, so we got it right. We got a special presentation that we do every year. I just the Dorothy Hardwick Foundation Scholarship. William Guy Hardwick, the husband of Dorothy, set up the first trust that funds this scholarship. He was elected as the state of Alabama Lieutenant Governor in 1954 and served in the Alabama House of Representatives. He was also a member of the Dothan Rotary Club. Mr. Hardwick stated that Dorothy Hardwick graduated from Dothan High School and she received a quality high school education, which enabled her to make a caring and outstanding life and citizen and to be active in community and church affairs. He said that it was a pleasure to establish this scholarship program for outstanding students attending Dothan High School and Dothan in honor of his wife. In selecting the recipient, there shall be considerations of scholastic standing of student, moral character, school activities, general qualifications of the student. The student shall be favored if all other factors are met, whose family may be financially unable to send their student because without financial assistance. The first scholarship we presented was in May of 1993. So Patrick, I could probably spend an hour reading all the things that you've done. I might just spend a couple hours. And the scholarship award this year was $822, and it would go to the university. You went to the Troy University. I'm a Trojan. I love Trojans. Good school. Cal, if you'll, and of course, we'll make out the check to Troy University in your name.
That's good. I'll make it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think he's full scholarship because 30 something on the ACT. I don't, I went to Troy. I happened to get a scholarship because I was president of my student government association. Because I think I made like an 18 on the ACT. So, and my mom was from Troy, so I think that would help if they were good school. So, God bless you. Good luck at Troy. I know you're going to do a lot of great things. I'd like to present our speaker today. Everlie Bolton was born and raised in Kithalala. Gotcha, Alabama. Her childhood was spent trying to read all the books, showing and judging dairy cattle, and bossing around her two younger sisters. She met her future husband at an 11th grade back to school event at Sidney LaVere High School in Montgomery. Everlie and Scott married while attending Auburn University, Oregon, and then moved to Baltimore, Maryland, so that he could attend medical school. She enjoyed every minute of her dream job doing medical research at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine until she started her next dream job of raising 3 baby boys into charming young men. Everlie began serving with the Friends of the Library over 12 years ago. Now her minivan is filled with donated books to be sorted, her desk is stacked with mentioned books to be priced, and her inbox is overflowing with emails about the Friends of the Library. She should be happy. Ever?
Thank y'all so much for having me here today. I love to talk about libraries. I love to talk about the friends of the library. And I know there's empty seats here today because not everybody loves to hear about libraries, but I'm going to make it worth your while today. I hope that you're going to leave here having learned something that you didn't already know. And I hope that I will excite you about our fantastic library system that we have here in Dothan. I have set myself a timer because I could literally talk about libraries all day long. And so when this timer goes off, I'm going to stop, and then we will have an opportunity for comments or questions. So I'm Everlie, and I'm so proud to be here. But I'm going to talk about mostly the friends of the library, but I'm going to start by letting you know some information about our library system. I'm in a very unusual and blessed position of serving as the president of the Friends of the Library, which is sort of like a PTO or a supportive organization of our library system. And I've been doing that for about 12 years. I also serve on our public library board along with James, and I serve in other library capacities. I started our church library. I would love to talk to you about church libraries. I helped start our jail at our library at the Houston County Jail and other places. I love libraries. They are important. Our library system, the executive director is Chris Warren, and so he is in charge of the whole shebang. And in case you didn't know, we have 3 physical library buildings. There's one, the main library downtown. There's the Westgate branch. There's the Ashford branch. And then we also have a bookmobile, which counts as a branch. This is a photo from Saturday at Landmark Park during the Touch a Truck event, and that was tons of fun. And I'm going to use this opportunity to also introduce to a guest I have with me today. This is Grant Jenkins. He is our Friends of the Library intern this summer. We're so excited to have him, and I wanted to tell you all a little bit about Grant. He graduated from Headland High School. He is a rising senior at Alabama, majoring in business, and he's in the band. His ultimate goal is to come back to Dothan and be involved in business, and that's why I thought this would be a great opportunity for him to come today. So if y'all are looking for a great person, you need to meet Grant. He's awesome. He's worked with us for about a week, and he's incredible. I also wanted to share with you, because I thought y'all might help me out with this. I'm going to tell you a lot about the library and the friends, and the bottom line is we have so much work to do. I cannot do it all by myself. We have a huge arsenal of volunteers. We are all volunteers. I have volunteered with the Friends about 50 hours a week, 50 weeks a year for 12 years for free because I believe that it is important. And all the other volunteers serve with me, but we need more help. And so we have learned about and have been accepted to the AmeriCorps, American Connection Corps division. And so we will have an opportunity to have a person come alongside us starting in the fall, and this person will receive a stipend and also have really incredible insurance benefits, better than what I have with my husband, and also a lot of other benefits. If you or someone you know might be interested in that, the only requirement is you have to be over 18 years old. Talk to me afterwards because I'd love to give you more information. Let me tell you about our libraries. They're amazing. There are lots of things happening in our library every single day. This is the April snapshot, and you can read on there the number of in-person visits system-wide. You can see that 153 people had passports, meetings and applications, and hopefully they all received their passports or got assistance with their passports. There were many events. You can see how many items were circulated. You may want to take note of how many of those items were digital. Digital books and other resources are growing exponentially every single day. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that and how you can take advantage of it. 226 people in the Dothan, Houston County area got library cards just in April. The summer reading program is coming up. You and your children, grandchildren, anyone you know can sign up. There are fantastic prizes, even for adults. Sign up starts on May 27th. Where there were also 57 events that happened during April. This was one of my favorite ones. This was a puzzle, I can't remember what it was called, puzzle race. And there were teams of people who put together a 500-piece puzzle, and the winning team, they did it in 48 minutes. That was pretty neat. Just in case it's been a while since you were at the library, I wanted to show you some things that you may not know that our library system provides. I'm going to show you really quickly and hit the high points. If you or someone you know is about to take one of those exams, ACT, LSAT, all sorts of things, there are study guides available. These books are super expensive, and so before you buy one, you might want to check it out from the library. You can actually check this out. We have a seed library you can check out and take home with you. You don't really check them out, but then you keep them. These are seeds for onions and mustard greens, and there's many other options available. In case you missed out on some of the classics when you were in school, our library has all of the classics. You and someone that you know, you can both check out a copy and read them together. If you have a child in school who's about to read a classic, check one out too and read it alongside them. Our library also has lots of DVDs and many TV series, brand new books. This is written by Gregory Maguire, the same guy that wrote Wicked. You can check out these brand new books. This one is 7 Day Loan because it's brand new. As soon as something is released, it's going to be available in our library system. Did you know you can check out board games at the library? This is a very expensive board game. It probably costs about $50. You got family coming in for the holidays, you're not sure what to do with them, come to the library, check out a board game, play it with them, and then return it to the library. Save yourself $50. Date night in a box. There's lots of themes. This one is mystery theme night. Not sure what to do on a Friday night. Swing by the library, check this out. There's lots of other themed boxes as well. Video games, all sorts of platforms. You can check those out from the library. One of my favorite things that our library does is the subject in a box. There are hundreds of different types on different subjects. I brought two for you today. This one is on measuring, and you open this up, it has books, it has games, it has measuring cups, it has manipulatives, it has all sorts of things in this box to help teach about measuring. This one is on gardening. I really like this one because it has a display with a cross-section of a flower model, as well as movies, books, and other resources on that gardening. Basically, any subject that you can think of, there's going to be a subject in a box available for checkout at our library. Another fantastic resource I definitely want you to know about is the Library of Things. There are a lot of things that you use that are expensive that you may use only one time. This is an example of one of these. This is called a film scanner. Do you have those little strips of negatives sitting around your house and you don't even know if you have the pictures developed or what to do with those? I took all of those negatives that I had and used this device to turn those negatives into digital photos that are now on my computer, and I was able to share with all of our people. You can check this out from the library. One of the most often checked out items is a metal detector. You got a new roof and you need to find all those nails in your yard, so you right here to check it out. You can look on the library website or swing by the library, and the librarians will be glad to help you with all of the other items that are available in that library of things. Basically, if it's something that is expensive that you would use for a short period of time, there's a good chance the library has it. We'll be glad to let you check it out. But there's other things too. One that will agree with me. Did you know that you can go to Walton Park or Kiwanis Park at Westgate, and there's a story walk? You can walk around there and read a story as you walk. You can also stream movies, documentaries, and television series for free with your library card using the Canopy app. This is one of the best things the library has. So many people are turning to digital. It's convenient, it's wonderful, and if you're like me, I have really struggled reading print in the mornings and in the evenings. I love to download books onto my Kindle, and I can adjust the font, and I can read in the dark, and I can finish one book and immediately start another book using the Libby app, checking out items from my local public library for free. You don't need Amazon, you don't need Audible, you just need a library card. Did you know that you can get your passport at the library, and that they're really kind and sweet passport agents, and that there are lots of opportunities for appointments? Those are just some of the highlights in our public library system. Our libraries are good, safe, and wonderful places for our community. I would love to give you a tour. I would love to introduce you to our library director. I'd love for you to come and see for yourself and take advantage of the fantastic library system we have right here at Dothan. Unfortunately, libraries are never funded enough, especially in Alabama. And so that's where the Friends step in. We help and sort of assist with some of the additional items that the library needs. We support the library in 3 ways. Well, first is financially. We spend all year raising money to support our library system. And in January of each year, we present a check. And in January of this year, that check was for $63,000. That money was raised $1 at a time, 1 book at a time. We also are advocates for our library system, and that just basically means that we are constantly telling people in our community about our library, why it's important, and resources that are available. I would love to invite y'all to join me in that today. When you leave here, can you please tell someone something that you learned about our library and help us advocate for our library system? We also support our library system with volunteer services. That's what Grant and I do, and a host of other people that help out in a variety of ways. Anybody can help in any way. We will find a way that you can support our library system that works for you. We have one guy who goes to the Westgate Library every day on his lunch hour. He loves it. We have one lady, she does floral arrangements when we have events. We have one person, he picks up empty boxes from places. We will find a way for you to serve. It takes a lot of people to do this. Next, we're going to cover 3 things. Where to buy books, because we sell books. That's one of the main things that the Friends do. How you can help, and why you should care. First of all, so the Friends of the Library, one of the main things we do is we sell books. And I want to tell you where to buy them. There's 3 places. Any of those libraries that I told you about in the beginning, we have what we call our ongoing mini book sale. We found that people want to pop into the library and buy a book that they can take to the beach, read it right there at the edge of the water, and the ocean washes it away, that's fine. Our hardcovers are $2, our paperbacks are $1, and our children's books are 50 cents. That $2 hardcover may have been $27.95 at Barnes & Noble yesterday, but it's $2 with us today. We want to provide low price, high quality materials for our community. You can also buy books on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Friends of the Library bookstore. This is brand new. We've been there less than a year, and it is fantastic. We didn't know we were opening a bookstore. We thought that we were providing a place for people to donate books and a place for our volunteers to gather, but Dothan was loud and clear. They wanted a bookstore. And so this looks like just a teeny tiny place, but when you walk in, you'll see we've got a variety of rooms. Each room is themed. It's very organized and very tidy, and what we have available is different every single Tuesday and Thursday. Pop in, take a look. I'd love to show it to you. You can also buy books on eBay. Every single book that is donated, I touch and I evaluate and I research and I price appropriately so it can best support our library system. You'll see right there those books that are listed on eBay today. There's a $300 book, a $175 book. It is not uncommon at all for us to sell books at those prices every single day on eBay. We sell all over the world every single day. You can also buy books at our 2 big book sales. We had one in April. We have another one coming up in August. It's at the Westgate Recreation Center in the gym. That gym will be completely full of very well organized books on every topic that you can imagine. In case you've never been, this is what it looks like. That gym is completely full. We have tons of volunteers that will help you. We will help you get your books to your car. We will help you find what you're looking for. We'd also love to have you volunteer. I'll tell you more about that. It's part of how you can help. You can donate, and I put stuff. We take so much more than books. We take books, magazines, CDs, DVDs, records, puzzles, and games. Basically, anything that you think you would see at a library, we will take it. We will find a new home for it, and we will support our library system at the same time. If you have books sitting on your shelves or in your attic, in your home, and you are not using them, they are deteriorating, and that's a shame when somebody could be enjoying them. We would love to have them and help find new homes for those materials. This is an example of how we research every single item that is donated. at the August book sale last year. I just finished for the day. I was about to go home. I took that picture to send to my family and say I'm coming, and I got a notification. It said that my item sold for $1,000. That was a vintage game that had been donated. Someone that lives in Dothan had inherited her uncle's estate. He lived in Chicago. They could not find a place for those books in Chicago. We worked with her to try to find libraries or anyone who would accept them. They would not. 3 times they rented moving vehicles and moving trucks and drove down to Dothan with items that they donated to our library system. I'm still researching a year later some of those items. This was one of those vintage games. I listed it on eBay for $1,000, but it sold, no questions asked. I share that with you to let you know your donation is honored and respected. It will be researched. It will not be dumped in a dumpster. It will not be discarded. Lots of times things that you think are not valuable, they are. And I will research them and we will find it out and we will support our library system. You can help by donating your time. These ladies, they work at Starbucks. Starbucks has a great program where they encourage their employees to volunteer in the community. They came and helped out at the book sale. We would love for you to help out at the book sale. It takes about 80 to 100 volunteers to run a book sale. We would love for your business to partner with us on that. We have daytime hours, we have weekend hours, evening hours, or like I mentioned before, we can plug you in doing all sorts of things, whatever time you've got. You can also help by donating services or products. This is Ruthie Davidson. She owns a catering company in town. She always donates chocolate chip cookies for volunteers at the book sale. Publix donates paper bags. Tri-State Graphics, they donate what is their trash, but it's gold to us. We only use copy paper boxes to store our book. And so we have a volunteer, Daryl, he goes whenever they got a load, picks them up and brings them to us. We appreciate Tri-State Graphics sharing with us and donating their boxes. You can also help by becoming a member of the Friends of the Library. There are brochures at your table that look like this. You can fill it out. When you become a member, you support our library in a variety of ways. Primarily, you're helping out financially support our library system and showing that you also believe libraries are important. You also will receive coupons that will go towards your purchase of books. And then also the biggest perk for most people is you get to shop first at our big book sale. People line up more than 2 hours in advance, and you see them right here at the Westgate Recreation Center. That wasn't the whole line. There's at least 200 people in line when I open those doors, and that's one of the perks if you become a member. Oh, wrong way. Why should you care? Because libraries are important. And let me give you some stories why. This is Nabi, and this summer, Nabi needs to keep reading, because if she doesn't, she will experience summer slide. And when she goes back to school in the fall, her teachers are going to spend the first 3 months of school catching her back up to reading them. She needs to have books in her home that her parents have purchased for their library collection at home. She needs to have fresh books that are coming into her home every week for her parents to read to her. They need to be able to check out books for free from our library system. You should care because this is Mr. Gurley. He served our country to protect our freedoms, and one of those freedoms was the freedom to read. We need to have access to good reading materials, and that's why you should care, because that's what our library does. Also, you should care because there's a man who goes to the Westgate Library every single day from 10 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. He swaps in, he sits at a table, and he reads. He read through the entire Encyclopedia Britannica at the Westgate Library. He's currently reading through an entire law encyclopedia set. He lives alone. He doesn't have any family here. He needs a place that he can go every day. Our library provides that for him. You should care because Macy and Skylar also need to have access to materials. They need to have access for true and real and good and safe materials. They need to have access to fiction. They need to have access to these materials that I showed you today. We want these ladies to stay in our community and support them and make the Wiregrass even better. And if we don't have libraries that will do that, they will go to a town that does. You should care because Marin and her siblings need to have access to books. Our library system does that, And we can do that when you partner with us. And I invite you to do that. I hope that you have learned something today to maybe inspire you, feel more educated, interested in our library system. Please come by and see us. Like I said, we love to talk about libraries. I would love to help you with those books that you have in your home that you would like to share with us. I'll bring the boxes and I will come to your house and I will pick them up anytime. Right here's my phone number, my contact information. Give me a call, send me an email. I'd love to talk to you some more. I did really good. That's the fastest I've ever done one of these. It took all day long, but I tried to narrow it down. But I also wanted to save time for your questions or your comments. What do you have to say? And there's prizes should you have a question or comment. Okay.
Everlie, share some of the things that over the years that friends have done. It's not just reading materials and materials.
Yeah.
We've done
So
infrastructure.
this money goes to really important things, like example, a carpet shampooer. You got to shampoo your carpets at home, clean your upholstery at home. You got to do that in a library too. Some of the money we just donated went to a poster printer. We have paid to have faucets repaired. We have paid for this year playhouse out on the patio at the Westgate Library. This year, that $63,000 that we donated, over $30,000 went to new digital materials. Did you know when a new book is released, we have to buy a copy for at least one for the main library, the Westgate Library, the Ashford Library, and the Bookmobile. Then we also need that same book, the audio on CD for each of those locations. Then we also have to buy the digital copy for an ebook, and probably more than one. Then we also need to buy the e-audio edition. So how many is that? Like 12 versions of one title? Those ebooks, you think, oh, they can just make those so easily. That doesn't cost hardly anything. One ebook generally costs between $60 and $100. Then that ebook is only allowed to circulate a small number of times before the publisher requires you to buy an additional copy. Books are expensive, y'all. It's expensive to run a library. Thank you for asking that. Yes, sir.
So I've used your services on the passport,
Yes, sir.
and that was a great experience.
Good.
And I don't frequent the library a whole lot. And I do hear lots and lots of great things about the library. The one controversial, negative type thing I've heard is the country and the state placement of inappropriate books and whatnot, children's section specifically for minors. Tell me how the library currently, along with and or not sure what influence Friends of the Library has in that. Tell me about that.
I'm glad you asked. Thank you for asking that. I want to correct any misinformation or misunderstanding you may have about our public libraries. I am a conservative Christian, and I am in my libraries every single day. I can promise you your children are safe. I can promise you that you are safe. Are there materials in our library that may not align with your values? Absolutely. I don't drink alcohol, but there are books in our library that teach you about alcohol, how to make alcohol, favorite wines, and those sorts of things. Those good books do not align with my values, but there are people in our community who need and want to have access to those books. And that could go on and on and on. All libraries need to have material that represents their community. Our library has materials that represent our community. In the children's room, I can promise you there are no inappropriate materials. Please come, please take a look. I'll be glad to show you. Now, I don't want to get in the nitty-gritty, but sometimes you have to be very careful when you're hearing things that are presented in the media. It may or may not be presented accurately. For example, you will hear that there should be no materials that show nudity in the children's room. Have y'all ever read No David? It's one of my favorite children's books. And it's a picture book. And the mom is saying to David all day, all the things he shouldn't do. He shouldn't put his keys on the top of his head. He shouldn't crawl on the wall. He shouldn't run down the street with no clothes on. And there's a picture of this little naked boy, his little backside running down the street. There are some people that feel like that book needs to be in the adult section because this cartoon character, this little boy, that there's a good chance you've had this book in your home. People can get very upset and can skew that in inappropriate ways. I can promise you, in our library, there are no inappropriate materials for children. I have been to the community meetings. I have heard what has been said about our library. I've heard how we have been slandered. I have heard the things that have been said. If they've made it sound like at times the children's area is loaded with pornography, it's not. Come take a look. Our library is not like that. It is good and it is safe. There may be some things that you do not agree with, but it is good and it is safe. Is that helpful? What do you have to say back to that?
No, I'm asking currently, that's the case currently.
Yes.
I'm all on board because everything else right there is tremendous. And
Let me tell you this too. Whenever you get a library card or you get a library card for your children, children can only have access to the materials that their parent or guardian give approval for. Our library believes that the parent is responsible for their child. So when you bring a child in, you decide where this child can check out materials. May they check out only items in the children's room, or may they check out items in different areas? If they can only check out items in the children's room, that means when they're doing a report and there might be a biography or something in another part of the library, they can check it out. If they want to check out a cookbook that's in the adult area, they could check that out. But you as the adult make that decision for your child. You decide what is appropriate. Also, unattended children are not allowed in the library. Every child that's in our library, will have an adult with them to monitor what is checked out. Is that helpful? Our libraries are good and they are safe. I encourage you to get to know our library leaders if you have questions. I encourage you to come and look for yourself. When you see lists of books that people are upset about, I encourage you to please read that book yourself. Draw your own conclusions. Many times you will hear things pulled out of context from those books, and as you know, it's very easy to do that just with the Bible. It's important to read those books in context and make a decision for yourself. Yes, sir.
What percentage of your budget comes from the federal government?
Very small. I don't have the numbers in front of me. James, do you know?
We get very little federal funding unless it's grants we can apply for. State funding is very little.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for our local governments and then donors that support us, we couldn't operate our libraries.
Here's something that's really important to know as well. There are different types of libraries, and ours is a little bit unusual. Our library is a nonprofit 501c3. It is not a part of our local government. Our local government does support significantly our library system, but our library system is a nonprofit 501c3 that is led by a board. James and I are two members of that board. The significant funding comes from the city and the county, small amount from Ashford, and then the Friends of the Library also stand in the gap and provide other funding, as well as other private donors. Is that helpful? Another thing you need to know, ALA and the federal government do not decide what is in our libraries. We do. In our community, our professional librarians choose what goes into our library. Most of them have a master's degree in library science, and they are very aware of our community values, our community standards. There is a selection criteria of how books are added to our library system. You can find it on the library website, and it will tell you what is added to our library, the criteria, and then when items are removed. Libraries go through what they call a weeding process from time to time. We do not need books in our library about preparing for Y2K. We've done that, and so we need to put a different book on that shelf, maybe preparing for 2026 or something like that. That is normal, and that's good for libraries to weed their collection. And then it's also, there is a standard selection criteria to add books to our library. Is that helpful? What other questions do you have? Yes, sir.
I started going to the library around 5 or 6. I bet you don't know where it was.
Well, I didn't live here then, probably. So tell us.
Three, four people over here, you know where it was. They used to be before the one that got torn down, Rick, those two. But it was an old house right behind where the Dothan Eagle. That's where I got my book. I was going, about pirates and things like that.
One of the pictures I took and then I failed to add in my program is our library downtown has a local history room. In that local history room at the top, there are photos of Dothan. If you want to research your family history or information about the Wiregrass area, you will find it in that room. Our library just recently celebrated 75 years of providing free library services to Wiregrass. What else do you have? Yes, sir.
I have a book that I do not intend to donate. You should have posted.
Why, praise it? Okay, I'll be glad to teach you how to do it yourself, too. Yeah, I'd love to take a look and show you the resources that we use to value books. It's really fun. You never know. You never know. You do not ever judge a book by its cover for any reason. Okay, what else y'all got? Yes, sir.
Does the bookmobile still run the county areas and stop at small communities?
Yes, sir, that's exactly right. Our bookmobile, if you haven't been on it, it is fabulous. There's so many things on there. Tammy is our bookmobile librarian. She loves her patrons. And yes, she goes out in the county. She stops at a lot of Dollar Generals and city halls, providing library services to people that might have more difficulty coming into Dothan. However, by special request, she comes to the Friends of the Library bookstore, usually on the fourth Tuesday of the month, for just an hour or two, because we want people to be able to see the bookmobile and come on there and check out some books. Great question, thank you. What else you got?
You might tell them it all has Wi-Fi on our bookmobile.
Yes, the bookmobile has Wi-Fi. In Westgate Park, there's Wi-Fi as well. When you walk that 3.25 mile loop, there's Wi-Fi available there, provided by our library system. You also can park right outside the library, and even when the library is closed, there's Wi-Fi available. Our library system provides a wealth of services to our community. Libraries are vital. Libraries are important, they are safe, and they are good. They're indicative of a healthy and thriving community. When I moved to Dothan 19 years ago, one of the very first things I did was park on Birdshaw Street in front of that old library and checked it out, because I wanted to make sure I had moved my family to a community that valued library services. Honestly, I walked back out to my car and cried myself and cried, because at the time I felt like we needed to have more improved library services. That's my timer. And I said, when my boys are big, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get involved in our library system, because it's important to me that we have good and safe and fantastic libraries. My boys got big, and that's what I had done. And when I was first getting involved in the library, I can tell you exactly where I was standing when Betty Forbes said to me, Everlie, libraries are important because it is the only place where every single person gets provided services for free, and it does not matter if you are homeless or you are the Queen of England. Every person that walks through those doors is treated with respect, and we provide services for them for free. Not many places that you can say that about. Is important for our community. So I encourage you to come by, check us out, take a look, call me up. I'll be glad to talk to you some more, get to know Chris Warren. He is fabulous. If you got other questions, ask James. Our libraries are good. Thank you for supporting them, and thank you for letting me come today.
Thank you. So, can I rent that and take to the beach and look for gold? So what's it cost to rent it out?
Your library card is free, y'all. All you have to do is live, work, go to school, or own property in Houston County. If you don't meet any of those criteria, you can get an out-of-area card at the library. I think it's $25. How much are you going to spend if you go to Barnes & Noble on one book? At least $25. So come in, get your library card, have access to all of these things and more for free.
Thank you. Just for a note, next week, holiday, we do not meet next Monday, we'll meet the following Monday.
I apologize, I can't remember our guest speaker for this week, but next week, we're all on holidays. I hope you have a great weekend, and if we can stand. Of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all express? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all? God bless you and have a great week.